This, ladies and gentlemen, is King Charles III being poked in the chest by a member of the Rothschild banking dynasty. This is Evelyn de Rothschild. He was the Queen's financial advisor. And I want you to just soak in this image for a moment, because today we're going to talk a little bit about who is pulling the strings behind the royal family, how they are controlled, and most importantly, what we may soon see from this man in the near future under this new monarchy. Now, I want to start with this and the king's connections to this man, Jimmy Savile. Now, if you're not familiar with who he is, really quickly, he was an English DJ, a television and radio personality who hosted BBC shows, including The Top of the Pops and Jimmy'll Fix It. In obituaries, Savile was praised for his personal qualities and his work, raising an estimated £40 million for charities. But after his death, hundreds of allegations of sexual abuse made against him were investigated, leading the police to conclude that he had been a predatory sex offender and possibly one of Britain's most prolific pedophiles. There had been allegations during his lifetime, but they were dismissed and accusers ignored or disbelieved. Savile took legal action against some of his accusers. And this is the man who was good friends with, at the time, Prince Charles. Here they are meeting way back in 1970. They go back quite some time. And indeed, ever since then, they have been close buddies, the best of friends, hanging out time and time and time again. Here he can be seen on stage with Savile and his, at the time, wife, Princess Diana. Here's another photo from that day. And again, this is Britain's most prolific sex offender and pedophile who has tight connections with the now king. And this is something that may bring this all together for you and may bring a little more understanding to what's going on here when you see this photo here, folks. This man right here is Robert Maxwell. He is the father of Ghislaine Maxwell. He put his daughter Ghislaine in contact with Jeffrey Epstein, a man who ran a pedophile ring and a blackmailing operation. Here, Ghislaine Maxwell can be seen with Jeffrey Epstein hanging out at this cabin, who just so happens to be owned by who? None other than the Queen. Yes, that's right. That's what these red circles are indicating, that these markings show this is the same cabin, just happens to be a different time of year, hence the different backgrounds. But why is the royal family being heavily connected to this pedophile ring that seems to be run by the Rothschild family, who seems to be setting them up with all of this? You know, I've been exposing this for quite some time, like in this video. In France, pedophiles are pushing for mandatory vaccines. You can't make this up. The president of France, Emmanuel Macron, fell victim to an elite banking pedophile ring when he was just 15 years old. His current wife, Brigitte Macron, seduced the would-be leader when he was just 15 years old, and she was his 40-year-old teacher, who was married with 3 kids at the time. Guys, let me repeat that. Young 15-year-old Emmanuel Macron was hit on by his 40-year-old, then married with 3 kids, French teacher, Brigitte Macron. As their relationship developed, Emmanuel soon found himself working as an investment banker in a highly paid position at the Rothschild Bank. In this video, Dan Dicks of Press for Truth exposes this elite banking pedophile network for what it is. If you haven't seen that, guys, be sure to check it out. But the Rothschild family has been intimately connected with setting up the British royals with pedophiles to control them for quite some time. I mean, who could forget about the even recent case with the other prince, Andrew, who was exposed in this, I think it's a BBC interview, where they questioned him about his connections to Jeffrey Epstein. Again, this is the grandson of the Queen. So we've got a whole bunch of pedophiles mixing around here with the Rothschild banking dynasty. I exposed this in this video, breaking Epstein updates, the prince, the president, the brother, and the meme. I also put this one out. The ABC Epstein exposé shines a light on the royal family's dark pedophile activity. If you haven't seen these videos, guys, catch up on some of the work I've been doing to expose what's been happening here behind the scenes. As I said, as the Rothschild family have been putting the royals in contact with pedophiles for years. Here is another photo of the prince at the time, now King Charles, meeting with another man who is connected to this pedophile. Bill Gates has been meeting with Jeffrey Epstein many, many times. He's flown on his plane many times. He went to his island many times. He met with them even after Epstein was convicted of being a pedophile. Many claim that this is why Bill Gates' wife left him, was due to the pedophilia connection and the friendship that he has with Epstein. But here he is seen with King Charles. And interestingly enough, this is the woman who was, I think her name's Camilla. She was the prince's basically succubant, like she was his escort. So he, as you know, was married to Princess Diana, but before that, Camilla was his girlfriend. They were together for a while, and it didn't work out, and so they broke up. And then he met Diana, and they got married, and they had kids. And eventually, over the years, people started to notice in public photos and stuff that she wasn't happy anymore. They weren't showing these signs of affection anymore, public affection. There was clearly an issue going on with their marriage. And as it turns out, his girl here had come back into the picture. And of course, you know, as the story goes, she is now dead, and she is now the queen consort. So that's interesting. You know, in case you didn't know that. But I wanted to share with you this. What is this guy's intentions going to be for the future, especially under Rothschild guidance? You know, it's Evelyn de Rothschild's son, David Rothschild, who's heavily into this environmentalist movement, pushing the global warming, man-made climate change nonsense, right? So keep that in mind and get a load of what the then at the time prince just had to say to the World Economic Forum when he said we have to treat the planet as if it's a patient. Listen to his words carefully.
If we look at the planet as if it were a patient, we can see that our activities have been damaging her immune system, and she has been struggling to function and thrive due to the strain we have put on her vital organs.
Mother Earth, her vital organs.
Treat her. We need to restore balance and put nature back at the center of the circle.
At the center of the circle.
And to achieve this, we must act for health and well-being, understand nature's patterns and cycles, recognize the value of diversity, unity, and the interdependence of all living things, consider the importance of innovation and adaptation, and invest in nature-based solutions to help stimulate a more circular bioeconomy that gives back to nature as much as we take from her.
Give back to nature as much as we take from her. Now, keep those words in mind. I want to let you know, just in case you didn't know, his father, Prince Philip here, actually was quoted once as saying that when he dies, he wants to come back as a virus so that he can help contribute to the problem of overpopulation. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. Prince Philip, quote about reincarnating as a deadly virus to solve overpopulation, resurfaces. The death of Prince Philip was announced by Buckingham Palace Friday morning. Soon after, many people on social media began to reshare an old Prince Philip quote in which he says that after he dies, he would like to reincarnate as a deadly virus to help solve the issues of overpopulation. The quote is noted in an article by the Guardian newspaper from 2009, where some of Prince Philip's most controversial quotes are listed. The full quote reads this: "In the event that I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly virus to contribute something to solving overpopulation." Again, that's the father of the current king, who suggests that he may be reincarnated and brought back as a virus to deal with so-called overpopulation. This is of grave concern to me, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't know if you knew, but as King Charles III ascends to the throne, what's going to be happening now? Well, I found this little interesting part in this article that explains what the ceremony involves. According to the Westminster Abbey's Coronation Service Guide, planning begins almost immediately after the new monarch succeeds the throne, and the Abbey has been the site of 38 coronation ceremonies. Now, the ceremony involves a procession and an oath, swearing to govern faithfully with justice and mercy, to uphold the gospel, and to maintain the doctrine and worship of the Church of England. And ladies and gentlemen, do you think that they have been upholding the gospel? Does this man uphold the gospel? Does this man or men uphold the gospel? I don't think so when we see them connected to such prolific pedophiles as Jimmy Savile. No, ladies and gentlemen, what we're dealing here is with something else entirely. This is why I recently said on my Facebook page, I have only one king, and his name is Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, if you agree with me, please click the thumbs up button and share this video, because what we're dealing with here is a Rothschild-controlled monarchy that has fallen victim to a, not necessarily victim, but they were perfect candidates to this blackmailing ring pedophile operation, and who are now going to be doing the bidding of their puppet string pullers. Just wanted to bring that one to your attention, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, if you do appreciate my efforts to bring you this info, I would ask that you do check me out here at pressfortruth.ca/donate. Here's where you can do a one-time donation with PayPal. You can do Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. You can join me on Subscribestar. That's a really good Patreon alternative. I have been kicked off of Patreon. You can also join up here for a monthly reoccurring contribution. Any amount is greatly appreciated, guys. You can also send an e-transfer to Dan at pressfortruth.ca, or if you like to keep things old school, you can send stuff to my P.O. box, guys. Links for all of this is located in the description below. I want to thank everyone so much who has ever taken the time out of their day to click the links in the description, to go to pressfortruth.ca/donate, and to financially contribute to my efforts here moving forward. You don't have to. I'm always going to continue to put this information out for free, but if that is something you do appreciate, please check the links in the description today to find out how you can support my efforts moving forward. And that's all for today, guys. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button, share this video with your friends and family who you think need to see it the most, and stay tuned. We've got more video reports coming very soon. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.